over the difference between target group versus persona. So the main word for this lecture is persona. We're going to talk about what that is and how that helps your user experience design. So one thing that is important to remember is quantitative data. So whenever we make these personas and understand the target group, we are not making any assumptions. We're not, just guessing on what people need and want or what their pain points are, but gathering data, whether it's talking to a friend or finding some information online, you want to have some real data, not practice any kind of assumptions. So here's an example of a persona that is completely fictional. Everything on here is a fake, somewhat like a resume, including goals, personality, frustrations, and all of that data is collected by interviews and data from previous apps, that kind of thing, to really understand what kind of person might use the app and the likely demographics, as well as how they are motivated and respond to similar situations. So here's an example. Here's another example. Bridget Day, who is very similar to the previous one, but has a few different frustrations, different goals, and different technology that she uses. So one thing to remember whenever you're looking through personas, in this assignment you're only making one, but in the future, whenever you're working with a team, a lot of times you'll create 3 to 5 unique personas, guessing that your app is probably not so niche that only one very specific person will use it. Likely you'll have different types of people using your app, so developing a persona that represents that group. And again, these are all fictional. These are not real people, examples that I'm even showing you. And also highlight products your users are already using. So what functions are they used to, and how can you incorporate those familiarities into the user experience? Here's another example, as well as some trusted brands that this fictional girl Lisa uses. And then also one thing that's not part of your assignment, but a lot of times designers will do is they'll create a journey map. And this is super useful for any experience. I've seen journey maps made for counseling centers where they determine, high priority clients versus high priority clients, but maybe not urgent crisis clients. So here's some examples of different customers using the apps, starting with the customer that you want to have less of, which is type 1, all the way to type 4, the customer that uses the digital product and continues using it and upgrades and is a loyal client. And this really helps, journey maps really help the designers understand why customer type 1, why they abandoned the tool, and as well as type 2 and 3, how you can improve the user experience. Also, using icons is helpful. So creating a persona using graphics and infographics is really helpful, especially when you're pitching. These kind of images that I'm showing you are part of presentations for pitch decks whenever you are requesting a certain amount of investment into a user experience, whether it's a website or an app, and really helps the people in charge connect with the users, especially if the people in charge are very disconnected from the users that they're investing in. And so it really helps your argument when those people who have the power and are in charge when they see things much differently than the users, and you know instinctively that if you create a certain user experience for someone different, that it will ultimately fail. It gives you kind of a, an empathy visual for them to see and see how the users will respond. So again, turning these into infographics. So whenever you're pitching any of these user experience design strategies, that the people that you're presenting to really understand quickly and effectively. User motivations and pain points should always be included so that people see the problems and therefore also see the solutions. And then, of course, include all goals, both for the user and for the business, which I'll talk about more in another lesson. So turn the guide into infographics again. Include user motivations and pain points, include all goals, and you'll be able to really communicate who is using your product. Here you can see the goals listed for this fictional character Hector, and as well as some strengths. And really, even though they're fictional, you just really want them to succeed in whatever you're working on. And then also, these personas don't necessarily have to be completely illustrated. Here's just 2 pictures that really help the viewer understand what kind of products that she uses and what kind of style she has, and kind of gives a vague overview of what kind of product that should be designed for her. And then, as well as, you can also include daily activities, so like a day in the life. So for this example, this person works a normal position in the morning and early afternoon, into the evening, uses social media while at work, weekdays, and plays video games when they get home, watches TV before bed, and then on the weekends is social, has friends over, and likes to read. So just really understanding, what kind of user, what a day in the life of your typical user look like.